Welcome, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Goodman, Director of Marketing and Development for the YMCA of Northwest Louisiana. We're here at 318 Latino Studios for Shreveport-Bossier, my city, my community, my home. And can't wait to have today's discussion. Our guest is Andrew Gaspard. Andrew?
How's it going?
Good. I got that right?
Andrew Gaspard, yep.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Sure, glad to have you here.
Appreciate it. Well, Andrew, you're one of my favorite type of guests to have on here.
Man, no pressure.
Someone who is not from here, but who is doing great things for and in our community.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, I think this is right. If I get anything wrong, correct me.
Sure.
You're the relatively new owner of Sportspectrum.
That's exactly right. Relatively new, yeah.
So let's start here. My first question for you is take me through how you came to live here.
Sure.
And then to your journey to succeed a local icon, that's Matt Brown,
Right.
and a local iconic establishment, that's Sportspectrum.
All right, how much time we got?
As much as you'd like.
Okay, how I came to be to Shreveport is originally I'm from South Louisiana, Covington,
Covington,
just north of New Orleans.
Okay.
And so I've been in South Louisiana boy my whole life. I lived there, went to LSU in Baton Rouge, and so just that I-10 and lower area my whole life. And so I got married when I was at LSU, and my wife was looking around the medical field. She was applying to med school, applying to PA school. And so we got into PA school in a few different places. One of them was 5 minutes down the road from where we were in Baton Rouge. And the other one was LSU in Shreveport. And so I remember being at this park bench in Chicago, praying about where we were going to go, and I just felt like God said, "We're going to get you out of your comfort zone. We're going to get you away from family, from friends, and so things are going to look a little different." And so we made the 5-hour drive up to Shreveport, and that was in 2016. And so I actually was in seminary at the time at New Orleans Baptist Seminary, doing online mostly, and just needed a job to put food on the table. I tell that story all the time. Sportspectrum was just a means to an end, essentially. And so I Googled running stores in town. Had always been a runner since high school and always wanted to work at a running store. I felt like it was a really fun environment, met a lot of my strengths. And so I Googled running store in Shreveport, and Sportspectrum was a half mile from the house we were renting. So I filled out the contact us button on the website that no one ever responds to. It's what's your name? What do you want from us? And I think I said something to the effect of, I'm new in town. I like running. I'm good with people. I need a job. Didn't really expect to hear a ton back. Went back and had an interview and got hired. So that was 2016. Started selling shoes on the floor. And so when I tell people that I've done every part of this job from top to bottom, it's true. And so our goal was always to go back to Baton Rouge, close to our family, close to friends, closer to church. And that was kind of the goal there. Ironically, you said someone who outside of Shreveport but doing big things. I ironically joke that Shreveport was our prison sentence. We were going to get in, do our time, and get out. The idea of being North Louisiana away from family was just so foreign to us. And I had told a couple people that we weren't planning on being here long term, but I had never told Matt that because it wasn't official, and I wanted him to hear it from the horse's mouth. And so he just found out from so-and-so that I was thinking about leaving, and somewhere around February of 2018, called me into his office and presented this crazy dream that I would succeed him at Sportspectrum, that we were going to have a 5-year plan. And so I got out of that meeting and I called my wife and I said, do you ever feel like you just had a conversation that changes the trajectory of your life? I think I just had that. So we go home, we talk about it. We're going to pray about it separately. That was on a Friday. I go back to work on Saturday. I work all day. I come home and I said, "Hey, how did your prayer time go?" And she said, "I started crying." I thought, "Oh, see you later. We're leaving. We're out of here. There's no chance." And she said, "I think this is what we're supposed to do." And so that just began about a 4-year journey where Matt had never sold a store before. I had never bought one. And so we were both super green in this journey. and just put one foot in front of the other. And long story short, October 31st, Halloween of 2022, we signed on the dot. And so we're, what is that, 18 months, 17 months into this? No, more than that. Somewhere around that, into this adventure. And man, it's been a blast so far. So.
And just for people, most people know this because Sports Spectrum is such an important piece of this community, and Matt's such an important piece of this community. But for people who don't know, just quick clarification, or not clarification, but quick elaboration. This wasn't just a business transaction. I mean, this was Matt's baby that he was passing on to
absolutely.
The next generation.
Yeah, so real quick of Matt's history is that he's originally from New York, moved down with his brother. I think his brother was the
head tennis pro.
Yeah, exactly. And so he just started this business that I don't think he had any idea it would grow into what it does. And so he had it for 40-something years, which I don't think people really know how impressive that is to stay relevant, to have a business that is such a iconic part of a city. And so I have to throw Matt a bunch of kudos. A day doesn't go by that I don't wake up and walk in that store and realize how much hard work that he put into building into what I help run now. And so I'm super grateful to him and his family. And he has taken some well-deserved rest nowadays. So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that kind of takes me to my next question. So tell me a little about all the different things that Sports Spectrum sells and offers today, and then what we can expect to stay the same under your new leadership and some of the ways you might expand in the future.
Sure. I think that there's, for a lot of people who maybe just know the name or have been in there once and maybe it was years ago, they kind of have this perception that this is just this hardcore running store. And so you joked before we jumped on that you weren't planning on running any ultra marathons. I think there's a little bit of a perception that Sports Spectrum is this hardcore runner store that if you're not training for a marathon, you can't step foot in our door. And I've tried really hard over the years to kind of bring that intimidation factor down, because that's not the truth. Do we know what we're talking about and can talk the talk with that serious runner? Absolutely. But I want to reach the walker just as much as that marathoner. I want to provide service and products for the mom who's going to a soccer game or going on vacation or trying to get into running. And so there's a balance in me, a tension of I want to be that go-to running store that people can know and trust, while at the same time, we're here for everyone. And when we go to these trade shows and they ask us what kind of store we have, I feel like we've kind of moved away from saying that we're that run specialty shop. We are, but run specialty active lifestyle for anyone who wants to do anything and be comfortable while they're doing it. That's kind of what drives the products we bring in. And so, yeah, you can find all the best running shoes there, but shoes for working, shoes for walking, shoes for vacation, shoes for anything. Usually at Christmas time, when people who pop in who maybe aren't normal customers, they're just astounded at the apparel that we carry. And it's not just running clothes. It's fitness, it's gym, it's anything you want to be comfortable in that's good, high quality stuff. We can help you out with that. So there's that aspect of it. There's the race management side of it, which is a completely different. So if your kid's school, your church, anyone wanted to put a fundraiser on or a fun run or something, you could hire us out to have a race manager who is phenomenal. I think he's the hardest working man in Shreveport, who can walk you from A to Z on what it takes to put on a race and be successful. And so we wear a lot of hats there, but it's really fun. And outside of the products we carry, when I train new people, I tell them they can get this stuff anywhere. I mean, online, you could find these shoes at 30 different websites where we're going to hang our hat and where we're going to make the difference. is that customer service. And so like making you feel welcomed when you come in the store, small talk. I mean, all of that is just something you can't get on the internet. And really, I hear it all the time is you just don't find that service everywhere. And so not to say we're perfect, but it's a big part of our DNA.
Let me interrupt for one sec. So, because I've had this direct personal experience. I'm not a runner. I did run for a while. I came to Sports Spectrum because I hadn't bought running shoes in a long time. So, and I was just astounded in the very best of way by my whole experience.
Sure.
So take me through what someone's going to experience when they walk into Sports Spectrum and say to you, I want to start running. I haven't bought running shoes in a long time.
Sure.
I need you to help me.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways, that is also what separates us from a lot of other places is we want to fit you for shoes. And so when I use that term fit you, a lot of times people will say, yeah, I know I wear a 10.5. And that's not what I mean necessarily. That's part of the fitting process. But when you want to fit someone for shoes, what that means is you want to do what they call a gait analysis. So watch them run or walk, see what's happening as their feet. Everyone's not created equal in the terms of their foot shape and how they move and all that stuff. And so without making it astrophysics, it's a little more complicated than this is a really cute shoe. Can you bring me this in a tin? And so we want to watch you walk or run. We want to make suggestions for you based on what we're seeing, based on your gait, based on the shape of your foot, all of that, the feedback you give us about what you're wanting to do or problems you've had or injuries in the past. So you kind of take all of that and then you bring it to the back. And then what I try to tell people is it's like bringing out like an appetizer teaser at a restaurant. So you have a little bit of boudin balls, a little bit of cheese fries, a little bit of this. So you get a little bit of everything. That analogy to me is I'm going to bring you out, let's say 4 different shoes, 4 different brands. They all fit differently. They all cushion differently. And so as I put them on Jeffrey's foot, he's trying different things and he's giving me feedback. I like this. I don't like this. I like this because of this, and I don't want this because of this. And so we're not pigeonholed into those 4 shoes. It's just a starting point, a kind of a diving board for us. And then once you give me feedback, I'm already 2 or 3 shoes in the back where I'm going to go next. And so I tell our employees that information, that process, we want to be a gentleman in that, where if Jeffrey knows what shoe he wants and he wants to come in, he doesn't really want to bother with all that, I'll get you a shoe and you'll be out in 10 minutes. But if you need that help and you want that guidance, we can do that too, to where you may try 4 shoes on, you may try 20 shoes on, but to me, you walk out trying a bunch, and it's less word of mouth about what shoe to get, and you walk out confident knowing, hey, I tried 10 shoes on and I think I got the right one. And so that fit process is really important to us. Not everyone wants to take advantage of it, and that's okay. But it's something we offer, and it's really important to us.
And y'all do it remarkably well.
Yeah.
I can attest to that from firsthand experience.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit, just kind of going back to that long question from a few minutes ago, just what do you think will stay the same? What do you think may change or expand as we move forward under the Gaspard ownership, leadership?
I tell people all the time, and this is going to sound corny or maybe cliche, but I promise you it's the truth, is that my number one goal with Sports Spectrum is not to make money. My number one goal is to invest in people. And to me, people are my employees and the people who shop at my store. Now, I'm not on the floor as much anymore, and so my main focus is taking care of my employees. But if I do that well, they take care of our customers well. And then if we do all that, sales will come. But I just don't want to be that guy who is pinching pennies. And I mean, I feel like people, they sense that when you shop there. And that's just, I want this store to be bigger than just dollars and cents. And so that's my philosophy. That's my drive, is taking care of employees and customers. And so the culture of the store is very important to me. How the coworkers interact with each other, they feel supported and empowered. And then how that translates outward, I think we're getting to a really good spot there in the store. And then my goal is, okay, if we get it right in Shreveport, who's to say we can't do this in other cities and have that same impact on empowering and blessing employees, and then outward facing to customers and helping people and sharing that same experience that you had with other people in other cities. And so if I were to be very honest, I'd love to open another store. I don't know when or where that's going to be. I have some ideas, but it's really important for me to get our current store, the culture, the vision, the buy-in from people, to get that right. And then, like I said, who's to say we can't take this same philosophy and mission in other parts of the state? So I think that is a big thing for me. But my personality is to think long-term and think down the road. And at times that can get me in trouble to forsake the present. And so I'm trying to hold those two things, where have some ideas about what you want to do, but don't lose sight of where you are now. And so that's where a lot of my focus is.
And I know, so I know another thing, and I wasn't sure if you were going to go there or not, but so that brings us to the 2024 Logjammer.
Yeah.
The first marathon Shreveport will host in several decades, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So when is this? And my questions are, when is this, and why is this an important development for our community and the running community as a whole?
Yeah. Logjammer is the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So that's November 24th. Logjammer as a race has been here for decades. It's been a half marathon and a 5K. And it's just always been a goal to put on a marathon. I think in the running boom, in the COVID, post-COVID, and then just after, in those years after, you just see marathons like they're not going away. They're to some people, they're kind of the Super Bowl of running, where people take a lot of pride in saying, I ran a marathon. And so to be able
to give people perspective, how many marathons are there currently, not counting this one, full marathons in the state of Louisiana?
There's two more. There's Louisiana in Baton Rouge, which is in January, and then there's Zydeco in Lafayette, and that's in March. And so
New Orleans Marathon.
I don't think they're doing the full anymore.
Okay.
I think they used to, and I ran that one a couple of years ago, but I think it's just a half now. Okay. And so Logjammer will be the third, and what I like about offering that is having it in the fall. So much of picking a race, not only location, is the time of year. And so to be able to offer something for Louisiana and the surrounding states in the fall, as opposed to waiting to the new year, I think is really unique in some ways. I think to be able, like if Jeffrey said, I'm gonna train for a marathon and I'm gonna pick this one, there's a lot of benefit, in my opinion, of doing this one, because you get it done before the holidays. You know, like holidays are crazy for us. We don't have family in town, so us always traveling. And so to be able to train, race, and then get into the craziness of the holidays, the travel, the parties, all of that is really beneficial. But for our community specifically, people spend a lot of money and time traveling to marathons, and to be able to wake up out of your bed at 5:30 and get to the starting line of a marathon in your city, I think is pretty cool.
And registrations are open now. And
they're open now, yeah. And so
where do they go to sign up for? Do you know? Yeah,
it's only online. We don't have paper apps this year, and so if they go to Sportspectrum, one S in the middle, that's a big thing.
Okay.
SportspectrumUSA.com. They can find the sign up there. So we're doing a full marathon, a half marathon, a 2-person half marathon relay. So those who are not quite ready to do the half marathon themselves, but they can grab a friend and do it, and then the 5K. And so there's a lot to offer. There's a race for every member of the family, and they can sign up there, and we're really excited about it. It's gonna be really neat.
I swear I read something. You can fill in the dots, but like, is there a thing among runners, which I'm not, that a lot of runners try and maybe run a marathon in every state?
Yeah. And so me and my running crew, we're trying to do the same thing. There's a few different of those, Mount Rushmore clubs to be a part of. There's the world majors, there's the 7 continents, there's the 50 states. And so we've gotten, I think a third of our marathon signups so far are from out of state. So people need a Louisiana marathon to cross off their list. And so if Logjammer fits into that, I'd be interested. I'm really excited to see how many states we can bring out, because it's really exciting to see who shows up to little old Shreveport,
It's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
It's going to be neat.
All right, so I'm gonna pull a quote I found from you. You once said, "Running is not fun until it's fun."
Yeah.
So tell me a little about what you meant by that.
Yeah. So you have those people who come into the store, and this is typically that person I'm telling that to, who they see running as like scarlet letter, where they're like, "I'm just here to get shoes for work. I'm not a runner." Or I'll be tying a pair of shoes and they say, "Hey, I'm not running a marathon," or "I'm not running until someone chases me." And I always wonder why people are so hesitant to run. And it's because it's really difficult when you start. If you haven't been running or if you haven't been active, you get winded, within a quarter mile, and our weather isn't always cooperative when it comes to running outside, and they may not have the right gear. And so it's like a New Year's resolution for them, where they say, "I'm going to start being a runner." And they tried for 3 or 4 runs, and then it's like, this isn't for me. I'm going to go back to so-and-so. But just like anything, if you develop that habit, when you do start running and getting in shape and getting the right gear, and it's life-giving. I mean, the friends that I have and the trips we take, and the time you get to spend with people, and the accomplishments that I have on my running resume because of what running has given me. I mean, running has given me a career that I never thought I would have, just because I enjoyed running and I liked spending time with people doing it. And so running isn't fun until it's fun. Is if you could get past that first initial couple of days, couple runs, keep at it, knowing that it's going to get easier, and the friends you make along the way, it's just life-giving. I can't think of another phrase to say.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right, so my last formal question for you, and I will come back to you after it, is for those out there listening, talk to me about what the local fitness community here looks like, and any advice, not just running, but any wellness advice you have for plugging into that community.
Yeah. Shreveport, I said I've only lived in a few different towns, but of those, Shreveport has the strongest running community by far. And I hear that all the time. You have people who are either from here or have lived here and have run here. Maybe they're military, or maybe their job takes them somewhere else. They will come back in town and they'll tell us, "I didn't really, like that quote from The Office, really know you're in the good times or the good days until they're over." It's kind of like that, where you never really appreciate Shreveport running or Shreveport-Bossier running until you don't have it anymore. And so it's got a really strong, our town, our people, we have some loyal people to the sport. But something we just started at the store to help continue to foster that is our weekly run club. And so we would have people jump online and say, "Hey, is there a weekly run group," or something like that? And it always just pained me so much that there wasn't a go-to, go to Sportspectrum here, here, and here. And not to make a big name for me or my store, but just to offer that for people.
So give me some details.
Yeah,
about it.
So we just started it. I think we're in week 2 maybe, and it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. at the store. And so the goal there was just to give people a dependable time and place to come run with people, to make those friendships and relationships. And so like I said, we're in week 2 of that. We have 3 employees who are incredible at leading that out. They're out there every morning doing that. And so we just made 2 routes, that we posted the instructions by the store, and we can give you little cheat sheets, a turn by turn for you. I think there's a 6 mile, just 2 6-mile routes, and then maybe like an 8-mile route on Saturday. But if you're hearing this and you're like, I'm not up to 6 miles yet, we can always, shift and pivot from there. But just to be able to, like I said, give a dependable time and place to say, I don't know what I'm doing on Monday afternoon, but Tuesday morning I have people I can run with. And then the goal there would be to shift that and then pivot come August as a Logjammer training plan group. Because I know a lot of people, when they think about signing up for a marathon, they say, I don't know what to do. I don't know when to run and how much to run. And a lot of times it's like a solo venture for them. They don't have a ton of people necessarily that can do that with them. And so to be able to say, hey, we're going to create a training plan, so we'll tell you what to do. Even the days that we don't have the run club, like, Wednesday, you can go run this. But then those Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, specifically the Saturday, will be so crucial for people because they'll have a route, they'll have people to run with, they'll have accountability. And so I'm really hopeful that locally people will be able to take advantage of that and say, not only can I sign up for a marathon or a half that's in my backyard that requires very little financial investment to get to the starting line, but I also have people I can train with to help me along the way and hold me accountable. And so we're really excited about that. And we're just going to let that go organically and slowly. That's kind of how I do things. I don't want to make it super complicated and have signups and this and that. It's just you show up, you run, you make some friends along the way. So,
great.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, are there other things? I mean, I know I just grazed the surface, and I'm so proud to have you in this community. I'm so proud of Sports Spectrum. It's one of those places that we're super lucky to have in this community. Right. I know it's in excellent hands. So is there anything, I mean, we have all the time in the world. If there's anything else you just want to get into or talk about, feel free.
Sure. I would say just and it's easy for me to say this as a local businessman, but I would just want to, sometimes it's not even on people's radar, the concept of shopping locally. And I think COVID really helped, champion that idea on because there wasn't as many options to do anything other than that. At least coming back from COVID, we shopped online, and then it was like, let's support the local businesses. But we take pride in what we do, and we want to be that resource for people. And so I think sometimes people think that their only option is to buy online, but we have great products. They're the same price at our store. I mean, a lot of times people think that I set the prices, but I don't. All those companies set the prices. And so you get to pay the same price, but you get to invest in the local community. Your dollars stay in our city and help, And
this is like a weird analogy, but I'm going to go ahead and make it. Like, to me, it's kind of like AI versus human. Like the experience I had buying my Brooks at Sports Spectrum, I don't care. Like, there's no way I can replicate that through an online purchase. There's no one that's going to take the time. There's no one that's going to get to know my needs and exactly what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing, and is going to leave me with that experience online. Like, I have to have that touch. I have to be there locally in front of that person. And so,
to try the shoes on and see which one. I mean, sometimes there are people who, I've been running the same pair of shoes for 20 years. I just need the new one. I can understand that. But for that first or second time person shopping for shoes, to be able to try it on and walk around is really important. I just don't want to sit here and plug my store. I want to put on people's radar how important it is to spend your money anywhere in Shreveport locally is really important. I know that we're not going to catch everyone. I know that there's sometimes when just convenience beats everything, and that's okay. In COVID, we did launch an online store that not many people know about. And so if you want to support locally, but you still like the benefit and ease and convenience of shopping online, SportspectrumUSA.com has an online store. Our whole inventory is on there. So you can actually buy a shoe in traffic, I'll pull it on the shelf and you can get it. And I mean, you could buy a shoe and have it in 5 minutes, which is the internet can't do. And, or if I don't have it, I can get it from one of my manufacturers. So we did launch that, but just go out there and shop locally and keep your money in Shreveport, because it takes all of us to be able to make this place a better place. So
absolutely. Anything else? Or you...
I could go for days, but no, I think I'm all good there.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Logjammer, the Sunday or Saturday? Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
First full marathon we've had in Shreveport-Bossier in almost 3 decades, or maybe more than 3 decades.
Yeah, great swag in the packet, which is, gets a lot of people excited. Great after party. It starts and finishes at the store. And so, it's just going to be really, really fun. Yeah.
Andrew, thanks for being here. Sports Spectrum, thanks for being here. You're definitely a gem in this community.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.